All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online, please check it, guys. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Is my voice on screen is clear to all of you guys? Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. All right, sir. All right, guys. 1 minute. Abhishek Sharma. Abhishek. Just you can type the questions there. Continuously, I'm seeing that questions now. If it's related immediately, I'm giving answers to you. Right. Even after the class, I given 5 minutes of time to everybody. Right. That 5 minutes of time I'm giving there to check your messages now. Then we can type the you can see, for example, if I give mic options to you, how many members can take that one, how many members can talk there, all members are can talk at a time, so not possible to handle this. So anyway, they're not possible to give that mic to everybody, right? So just you can type the message there, then maybe with 1 minute later, maybe on immediately I can give some response to you, right? Type your questions there. Okay, no problem, then type your questions there. I think you asked to me then attending core Java classes, right? Regarding what? Relate to subject or relate to any other one? Yeah, you can type the questions now. I'll give answers to you. Type the question. Yeah. Anyway, guys, then don't worry. Then at the end of the session, I will talk with you regarding that. Okay. At the end of the session, I will give clarity for all of your thing. Yeah, Abhishek. Now tell me. You only tell me. Then if it is a question there, already I explained that clearly in the classroom there. Executing server-side resources is the job of the servlet or server. Now you only tell me. Haven't discussed that point. Answer is very clear. Server will take the responsibility of executing server-side resources. Servlet is also one server-side resource, right? Right. That is the answer for it. And Junni, then don't worry. Then guys, then if you have any doubt there at the end of the session, I'll talk with you regarding that. Don't worry. Is the question you are asking there, Abhishek, yesterday? Is this the question you asked there yesterday? Yesterday questions also you can type there. All right, guys. Now observe this what we completed there in the last session. Right, sir. And I think so. What topic here we are discussing there in the last session? Yeah. So almost all we completed. Steps to prepare Spring application. The topic here we are understanding now. In the topic already we started with like what there. Download and install Spring framework. Download and install Eclipse IDE. Create a Java project in Eclipse IDE. Add Spring libraries to the Java project. In the Spring project, prepare Bean components as per the requirement. Prepare Spring configuration file and provide Bean configurations. Prepare test application. These are the things here we provided. So already given links to you. Download Spring Framework from the following link and download Apache Commons logging version.jar file from the following link. Have you downloaded both? All of you know. Alright, sir. And add the following jar files to the project. At least have you completed this part here? After creating Java project and adding them, right? The remaining part is what there we have to run the application, right? But before that, we need to understand beans in a Spring framework. Basic awareness of this beans here we are going to prepare. Right, sir. Understand this clearly. So, what exactly the meaning of a bean? What is the meaning of a bean? Observe carefully. All right, sir. Bean is a reusable software component. Bean is a reusable software component. It is able to manage the state of a particular entity. This is in general definition. It is able to manage the state. State is what their data. Object is state. That means inside the object what data is available. That is called as what their state. State of the object. State of a particular entity. Entity is what their a particular class. Say for example, user is an entity represented in the form of a class. That user data which we stored, which you want to store in the object, that is called as what their state. That state is managed by whom their bean. The state is managed by whom their bean. Observe carefully. This is what exactly the meaning of what their bean. All right. After that, in different frameworks and technologies, in different frameworks and tools, beans will be used in different forms. In a different frameworks and tools, beans will be used in what their different forms. All right, examples I'm telling there. Struts framework, where the beans are like what there, we can call them action forms. Struts framework, we can call them as what their action forms. In JSF, we can call them as backing beans. In a JSF, we can call them as what their backing beans. Next one is inside like a Hibernate. In a Hibernate, we can call them as like what their entities. Or of course, that entities are like what their POJOs only. POJO. Entities are POJO. All right, so maximum entities. In the case of Spring framework, we may call them as like what their beans, or simply we may call them as what their POJOs. Plain old Java object. POJO in the sense what their plain old Java object. What is this? What is the meaning of this POJOs actually? POJO is plain old Java objects. These are beans which must not extend or implement predefined library. Predefined libraries except java.io.serializable. You can implement java.io.serializable, no issues up to that. But apart from that, no predefined library is going to be like what there implement is going to be implementing or extending predefined library. One more thing I'm telling to you, EJB is here. Here there we are able to say like what there session beans. Next one is entity beans. Next one is like what there apart from this session beans and entity beans, message driven beans like this. So many things are available. Right, sir. So this POSO is what their plain word Java objects. These are beans which must not extend or implement predefined library except java.io.serializable. Observe carefully. Next one is if we want to use these beans in our applications, if we want to use beans in our applications, we need to follow a set of rules and regulations. We have to follow what there a set of rules and regulations there now. All of you observe carefully. If you want to use beans or if you want to prepare beans, if you want to use beans in applications, Java applications, then we have to use the following rules and regulations. At basic level, I'm telling there, basic level rules and regulations here we have to use. Observe carefully. Rule number one, every bean class, it's basically a Java class. Observe carefully. Every bean class must be declared with public comma non-abstract and non-final. This is rule number one. Every bean class must be declared with what their public, non-abstract and non-final. Observe carefully. What is the meaning of this non-final, non-abstract and public? What is the need of it now? Observe carefully. Best example in a Spring framework. Who will create object for bean class? No, container, not by developer. Container will create, not only here. In the case of Hibernate also. Hibernate software will create what there objects for bean. Maybe in the case of struts also. Bean class objects are created by struts framework, JSF framework. Users may create the bean objects at very less situations, but maximum situations, frameworks or tools are creating objects for what their beans. Okay. If a container wants to create an object for bean class scope must be available to the container or not? Bean class scope must be provided to the container or not? So to bring a scope of this bean class to the container, we have to declare that bean is what there public. That's the point number one. Here we have to understand. Where the main purpose to declare bean class as public is to make available the scope of bean classes to the containers, comma, frameworks, and so on and so on and so on, in order to create objects. In order to create what their objects. That is point number one. That means this is about like what there, where why it is public. That point here we discussed again. Next one is why it is non-abstract. Again, the same reason. Is it possible to create an object for any abstract class? Come on, is it possible to create objects for abstract classes? No, not possible here. Just remember, max you can declare reference variable, but we are unable to create objects for the abstract classes. Got it or not? Now the point is what then? If we declare a bean class as an abstract class, is it possible for container to create object for it? No, not possible here. No. So that's why it should be non-abstract. It must not be declared as what they're abstract here. No. Where the main purpose to declare a bean class as a non-abstract is to allow frameworks or containers to create objects. To create what their objects. That's a point here. Otherwise, if it is an abstract, no, objects are not possible there. No. Next one is, what is the purpose of this? Another one here, non-final. What is the meaning of this non-final here? For example, if it is a final, if any final class is available, is it possible to extend that final class to some other class? No. Is it possible to extend that final class to some other class? No. Not possible here. Extension is not possible. When extension is not possible, we are unable to reuse one class members in another class or not. Reusability is not possible or not. But in the case of applications, in some situations, what will happen there? I want to reuse some bean class properties and behaviors in another bean class. I want to reuse some bean class properties and behaviors in what there? Another bean class, where we must not declare that class as what there? Final kernel. Maybe this is very, very lesser situation only, but is one of the points kernel. So because of that reason only, that bean classes must not be declared as what there? Final. Where the main purpose of, where the main purpose to declare, where the main purpose to declare a bean class as a non-final is to allow to extend one bean class, to extend a bean class to another bean class in order to reuse one bean class behaviors in another bean class, just to improve reusability. In other words, I'm telling there, to improve what their reusability. Right, sir. This is exactly the first point here we have to understand. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? That's okay, fine. This is point number one. Next one is now here point number two. Point number two. In the bean class, declare all properties as a private and declare all methods as a public. Observe carefully. All properties as what they're private and all methods as what they're public. And before this, I want to write one more point. This point I want to make it is later on here, but one more point here I want to write. Try to observe this. In a bean class, listen carefully. In a bean class, we must provide a separate set xxx method and get xxx method for every property. Property in the sense what their variable. In the bean class, we must provide a separate set xxx method and get xxx method for every property. Or get my point? For every variable, we must provide that. For every variable, we must provide a separate set xxx method and get xxx method. Setter method and getter method. For every method, we must provide separately. So, all of you are getting it or not? Then after that, come for this point here. In bean class, declare all properties as private, and declare all methods as what they're public. Then what is advantage we are able to get from second and third points here now? All right, sir. By declaring properties as private and methods as public, everything we have to do through methods only. If I want to set a value to a variable, I have to call setup method, set xxx method. If you want to get the data from a particular variable, there we have to call what there, get xxx method. So the data must be flow through the set methods and what next one? No, get methods here now. All of you are getting it or not? Data must be flowing through the set method and get method. Means that when data is flowing through the methods now, automatically there we are able to get an encapsulation or not? There we are able to get what there, encapsulation. Interviewer may ask this question to you. In Java, how can we achieve encapsulation? In Java, how can we achieve encapsulation? Simply your answer should be what there? Just by taking Java bean classes, I can achieve encapsulation. How Java bean classes are providing encapsulation? Now tell me. In Java Bean classes, there is a rule. All properties should be private and all methods should be public. Means that if you want to set data to the variable or if you want to get a data from the variable, everything we have to do that through the methods only. Means the data is flowing through the methods only. Once the data is flowing through the methods now, inside the methods, data and coding part both are combined. Data and coding part both are binded inside the methods. So there we can achieve what there? Encapsulation. What's the definition for encapsulation there? Process of binding data and coding part, wrapping up of data and coding part. That is called as what there? Encapsulation. That we are able to achieve through what there? Java Bean classes. Now here, I'm giving one small note here. Observe carefully the above points like second and third are able to improve encapsulation in Java applications. Are able to improve what their encapsulation in Java applications. That's it. Now this is another point here we have to say now. Right, sir. Okay, fine. Encapsulation related thing here we understood. Next one is after that. All of you observe carefully. I'll ask some questions to you. Now try to answer for it first. Listen, guys. All of you listen carefully. Employee EMP1 is equal to new employee. Put more concentration here. System out that print enough. EMP1 double equals EMP2. What value we are able to get? Don't give blind answers. Think and give answer now. Two objects I created, but data is very same. And both object data is same or different? Data is same. But how many objects are created? No, two objects I create. I think one of the important interview question I'm asking to try to answer for it. What is the difference between double equals operator and equals method? What is the difference between double equals operator and equals method? Okay. If I ask this question there, you have to ask a reverse question to that interviewer. Double equals operator I can give answer, but equals method you are saying there, which equals method you are expecting now, tell me. There you can give answer there. If interviewer is not giving that question there, okay, no problem. Give the complete answer. What is that complete answer now? Double equals operator is for comparing two values, where the variables may be normal primitive variables or maybe user defined variables, object related variables. That doesn't matter. Two variables are having the same data or not. Primitive variables, int I is equal to 10, int j is equal to 20, I double equals to j, false. For example, employee EMP1 is equal to new employee, employee EMP2 is equal to new employee, EMP1 double equals to EMP2, false. Here false. Tell me, when I create this object, separate hash code value is created or not? Separate reference value is created or not? When I create this object, separate hash code value is created or not? Separate reference value is created or not? Are here, how many times we have used new keyword? That many number of times a separate new object is created. When two new objects are created, these reference variables are storing two different reference values or not? EMP1 reference value is different, EMP2 reference value is different. So now double equals is comparing two variable values now. EMP1 variable value and EMP2 variable value, both are two reference values. Both the reference values are different or not? Both the reference variables values are different or not? So what value here we are able to get now? False is a value here we are getting. Okay, fine. Next one, equals method. Double equals operator we understood. Okay, equals method. What is this equals method actually? Initially equals method was defined in which class now? Object class. You know already what is the status of the object class? It is a common and default super class for every Java class. So initially equals method was defined. Equals method was defined In which class there? No, object class. Got my point or not? Object class. In object class, equals method was defined in such a way to provide references comparison instead of what their content comparison. Object class equals method is performing same as like what their double equals operator. It is comparing what their references instead of what their content comparison. But some of the classes are available in Java, like a string class. Best example, string class and wrapper classes. String class and what their wrapper classes. They are not interested on the object class provided equals method functionality. They don't want to go for references comparison. They want to have their own requirement. Their own requirement is what they, instead of comparing to references of the objects, they want to compare content of the objects. They want to compare what their content of the objects. Instead of performing references comparison, we want to perform content comparison. Because of that reason, string class has overridden object class equals method. String class has overridden object class equals method in such a way to perform content comparison instead of references comparison. Two string objects are available. Two string object references are different. But in one string object ABC data, another string object ABC data is available, but both are two different objects. No, in this case, str1 dot equals of str2 content comparison only able to perform. ABC and ABC both are okay, same. So true value we are able to get. We are not going to get what there false value. But if you apply double equals operator there we are able to get false value. But if you apply that means equals method over there we are able to get what value here? True value. Same thing is over wrapper classes also. Same thing is going on with what there wrapper classes. Got it or not? Okay, leave this one. This is somewhat information about equals method and like what there equals method, double equals operator and equals method. Leave this one. But in this example, now tell me, EMP1 double equals EMP2. What we are getting there? False we are getting. But my requirement is what there? My requirement is I don't want to compare references. No, I want to compare what there? Just employee numbers. In both the employee objects, employee numbers I want to compare. If that employee numbers are same, I want to make it is what there? I want to make it is what there? Equal. Both the objects are equal. Both the employees are equal. If both are not same, then I want to say both are different. Even though I created two objects, no, if employee number value is same in both the objects, no, I want to say both the objects are what there? Same object. That means identical objects. I want to say both objects are what there? Same. In that way, I want to perform my comparison. If you want to perform like this comparison, then what we have to do there? Instead of using this, now dot equals method here we have to apply. Even though we apply this dot equals method, what will happen there? First term. Now see this one clearly. First term, class employee is existed here. Alright, so nothing is available now. EMP1 dot equals of EMP2. Now tell me, first JVM will search for equals method in employee class or not? Do you have any equals method in employee class? No. No. So JVM will search for equals method in the super class of employee or not? Tell me, what is the super class for employee? Come on, what is the super class for employee? Object class. In object class, equals method is available or not? Object class equals method is performing references comparison or content comparison? References comparison, not content comparison. That's why still we are getting what value here? No, false value only. Why? Because EMP1 and EMP2 are having two different reference values. So here we are getting what value here? False value here we are getting. But my requirement is what there? Instead of performing references comparison, I want to perform what there? Values, that means data of the two objects. I want to compare employee numbers of the two objects. If they are same, then I want to say equal. If they are not same, then I want to say like what they're not equal, even though both the data is available in two different objects. So if you want to perform content comparison, what string class has done there? String class has overridden. String class has overridden that what there? Overridden object class equals method or not? Here also, as per our requirement, you can override object class what there? Equals method. Yes, sir, got it or not? So here what I have to do there? Public boolean, then what method here we have to take there? Equals. There we have to provide like what there? Object. obj, like this here we can perform. Now inside this, what we are going to do there, observe carefully. First of all, object will be converted to employee. Employee emp is equal to, inside the bracket here we have to perform like employee, there we have to provide like what there, semicolon. Now observe carefully here what I am telling there, if this dot envo double equals to emp dot envo, both are same. If both are same, what we have to do, sir? Now tell me, return true. Else part, what I have to say there in else part? No, here just we have to understand like what there, return false value. Return what value here? False value. Now tell me guys, here I overridden object class equals method or not? As per our convenient, we overridden or not? Not only in the case of en was there, I want to check in the form of e names. For example, if both employees e names are same, I want to make it is equal. If both employees e names are different, then I want to make it is different. There, what we have to do there, the comparison we have to provide between what there, this dot e name is equal to emp dot e name. Then we are going to say equal or not. See, now tell me, who has written this total logic? No, developer has written this total logic or not? Who has written this total logic? No, developer here. So the point here, what I'm telling to you about the Java beans, if we want to have our own comparison mechanism, if we want to have our own comparison mechanisms, if we want to apply our own comparison mechanisms while comparing two objects, then we have to overwrite object class provided equals method in the bean class. Clear, all of you know? Anyway, this concept is not required, just for our understanding purpose I have written this. Do this one. Right, sir? Then what is the first one here? This is a point here we can understand. Clear or not? Right, sir. If you want to apply our own comparison mechanisms while comparing two objects, then we have to override the object class provided equals method in the bean class. Clear? All of you are getting clarity on this now? Next one. Observe carefully. Right, sir. For example, I have a class A. Listen carefully. I have class A. Understand it clearly. No? I think so. In the collections, maybe hash set is available. Clear? Hash set is available. Hash set HS is equal to new hash set. Example I'm telling to you. HS dot add of A1. A1 is what there? A class object. A1 is equal to new A. A2 is equal to new A. A3 is equal to new A. Like these three objects I created. Right, sir. HS dot add of A2. HS dot add of A3. Like this are given. Tell me, all of you now tell me, in which order I added elements? No, A1, A2, A3. Will you get the output in the same A1, A2, A3 output? No. In a hash set, what's the nature of the hash set? Hash set is following insertion order or sorting order. Hash set is following insertion order and sorting order. Am I right? Insertion order, sorting order. Collection framework. Nearly 1 month of time we discussed it. Especially I give an internal working of hash set. This kind of concepts also here we understood hash map or something else. No. Now tell me, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6 I added. When I'm going to retrieve the data in the same order, we are getting output or in different order. Anyway, here my point is what there. Hash set is following insertion order or not? Answer is what there? No, not. Why? Because hash set is not storing the data on the basis of indexes. No. Hash set is able to store all the elements on the basis of the generated hash code values of the objects. Hash set is able to store all the elements as per what their hash code values of the objects. Yes, sir. Got it or not? But now tell me, object hash code value is predictable or not predictable? Is it possible to identify what exact the hash code value is generated by an object? No. Is it possible for you? Hash code value we cannot predict. Some unique value, some value we are able to get. Am I right or not? Hash code value generation is not in our hand. Yes, sir. Got it or not? But here I want to go for a particular mechanism. What is my requirement? No. I want to generate hash code value as per my algorithm. I want to generate hash code value as per what there? My algorithm. I don't want to go with JVM default implementation for generating hash code value. I want to generate hash code values as per my own view. Yes, all of you are getting my point or not? Then how I'm going to do there? Observe carefully. Now in class K, if you want to generate hash code value in our own way, what we have to do there? Now observe carefully. Public int, of course, the hash code method is somewhat protected or something else. No, we can override with public, no problem here. Okay, public int native method. Actually, it is a native method, but implementation we are providing here. Public int hash code of. Now inside this, what we are going to specify there? Observe carefully. I want to generate hash code value in a sequence. Static int count is equal to 0. And then what I'm telling there? All right, son. Count is equal to count plus 1. Now here, what I want to return there? Return hash code value here I have to generate. Hash code value here I want to generate is like what there? Some directly count value here I want to return. Now we override that hash code value or not? Predefined hash code value we are not under. See, in object class also there is a hash code method. In object class hash code method is available or not? But my class K don't want to use that hash code method. My class K wants to use what there? A particular hash code method. That my own hash code method that I've overwritten. Now tell me, when I create object, when I add this object to the hash code, no, that means hash set, no, internally what it is calling there, a1 dot hash code it will call or not? Then whatever the hash code value generated, as per that it able to adjust the elements. Now it is generating what value? One value can. Am I right or not? Now first element it able to store. For example, a2 dot hash code value it will call internally. Then it will generate two value. For example, it will return true. Then it will adjust as per the two. Some algorithm is going on here now. Just model I'm telling there. As the same thing is going to be happen or not, it's maybe doubtful. But model I'm telling there. Try to understand this clearly. So finally, the point what I'm telling to you in this case, no, in this overall scenario, is it possible to override the hash code value or not? That hash code value we can generate as per our interest or not? Understand my point here? So this point here I required clearly. So the point is like what there. All right, sir. If we want to generate hash code values to the bean objects as per our requirement, then it is suggestible to overwrite object class provided hash code method in the bean class. It is suggestible to override equals method. It is suggestible to override what method? Hash code method in the bean class. All of you are getting it or not? In the bean class, we can override like what there? Hash code method. It is suggestible to override hash code method and equals method as per our requirement. That means that these are the points here I'm telling to you inside the bean classes now. This is one point here we are telling them. Got it or not? All right, sir. Next one. After that, listen one more point here. After completion of these points, no, overall, these are the various things here we have to understand. But another point here I'm telling to you, observe carefully. Now this point is somewhat related with the constructors. somewhat related with what their constructors. Understand this clearly. In general, in bean classes, if you want to provide constructor, then provide zero argument constructor. Then provide what there? Zero argument constructor. Okay, not suggestible, not suggestible, not suggestible to provide parameterized constructor. Not suggestible to provide like what there? Parameterized constructor. Right, sir. What is the point here we have to understand there about this one? Why zero argument constructor is suggestible always there? Right, the point is what there? Who will create objects for the beans? No, developer will create the objects for bean in very less situations. In majority of the situation, who will create objects for the bean classes? No, maybe servers or maybe frameworks or maybe containers. These things will create objects for the beans. While creating objects for the bean classes, servers, frameworks, and all tools, all tools will search for, are able to search for what they are able to search for zero argument constructor in the respective class. Are able to search for zero argument constructor in what their respective class. Understand my point here? They will execute public and zero argument constructor, of course. The constructor should be what there? Public and zero argument constructor. Then it will search for public and zero argument constructor. If it is available, that constructor will be executed, object will be created. Yes, sir, got it or not? All right, sir. So here the point is like what there? This is a point here now. All right, sir. In general, containers, comma, frameworks and servers will create objects for the bean classes. Next one is while creating objects for the bean classes, containers, servers, frameworks will search and execute zero argument constructor only. Will search and execute what there? Zero argument constructor only, not any parameterized constructor, not any what there? Parameterized constructor. This is another point here we have to understand. Got it or not? So finally, rules and regulations for bean classes here we understood clearly. Come on guys, now tell me one time here what exactly the rules and regulations are available to write these bean classes. No, what we completed here. What is the point number one? Now tell me. Every bean class must be declared with what there? Public, non-abstract and a non-final. Why public? No, to make available bean class scope to every component. Why non-abstract here? Allow to create objects. Why non-final here? No, allow to extend bean class to another class in order to reuse behaviors. Right, sir. In the bean class, we must provide a separate set xxx method and get xxx method for every property. For every variable, we have to provide separate setter method and like what their setter method and getter method here we have to write. The setter methods are also be called as mutator methods. Getter methods are also be called as what their accessor methods. Right, sir. In bean class, declare all properties as private and all methods as what their public. It means that it able to improve like what their encapsulation in Java applications. If you want to apply our own comparison mechanisms while comparing two objects, then we have to override the object class provided equals method in the bean class. All right, sir. If you want to generate hash code values to the bean objects as per our application requirement, then it is suggestible to override the object class provided hash code method in the bean class. In general, in bean classes, if you want to provide a constructor, then provide zero argument constructor. Not suggestible to provide what there? Parameterized constructor. Right, sir. In general, containers, frameworks, and servers will create objects for the bean classes. So while creating objects for the bean classes, container, servers, framework will search and execute zero argument constructor only, not any parameterized constructor. Sir, all of you get my point or not? These are all clearly about what their Java bean classes, rules and regulations. Yes, sir, got it or not? Now, how Spring Framework is using these bean classes? Normal information of the bean classes here I've given, but how Spring Framework is using these bean classes, that we have to understand. All right, sir. Now, Spring Framework is using the above bean classes with the following rules and regulations, with the following conventions. Instead of saying that rules and regulations there, with the following conventions. What conventions can know? Now, very first point I am telling there, we will provide the application logic, total application. We will provide the total application logic inside the bean classes only. This I have not listed in the above rule. In general, for maintaining the state of the bean only, we are using what the bean classes. But in Spring Framework, we are using bean classes for maintaining what their application logic, business logic. Got it or not? That's one point here. Next one is, we will use parameterized constructors in bean classes as per the requirement. Not exactly the zero argument constructor. We are able to use what their parameterized constructors also in bean classes as per the requirement. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? Why? Because why parameterized constructors are required now? In Spring, there is a concept like dependency injection. We are going to inject dependent objects into one bean object. The dependency injection we can do through in two ways. Dependency injection we can do in two ways. I think in core Java we discussed about it. Dependency injection already we completed. In two ways we are able to achieve the dependency injection. In associations, I discussed about this topic there. What are the two ways of implementing dependency injection? No, one is a constructor dependency injection, and second one is what there? Setter method dependency injection. We are going to inject dependent objects through the constructor of a bean object. We are going to inject a dependent object through what there? Constructor of a particular bean object. We are injecting a bean object through the constructor, in the sense constructor should require a parameter or not. Constructor must require what their parameter. So that's why Spring Framework, we will use parameterized constructors in bean classes as per the requirement. That means these are the specifications in what their Spring Framework now. So we will provide the total application logic inside the bean classes only. We will use parameterized constructors in bean classes as per the requirement. Next one is, in one or two situations, we will use bean classes to store or to provide application configuration details. Anyway, this is too much internal point here, not required to understand immediately. While moving on to the concept, I will discuss with you regarding this. We will use bean classes to provide the application configuration details. Sir, got it or not? All right. Now these are about like what their bean classes. How we are going to prepare this bean classes here clearly now. Right, sir. Now example code here, if you want to see there, example code. Just I want to take like what there public class or something else like what there employee. I want to take a bean class, or maybe just I want to take like what there user is a bean class. Answer my point, Now where I don't want to write any variable and setter method and getter method. If I require, then I will write it. Otherwise, directly I want to define my business method. Public string say hello. Return hello user. I want to provide this. Understand it clearly. This is my bean class. Or else If you want to provide some data to this bean class, that means some other things here if you want to provide there. Another example I'm telling there in the same class now, what I want to take there, say for example, I want to take like what is their string uname, hello user. Instead of that, here what I'm telling there, hello plus uname. I want to write it directly. But here username is required or not? To provide that username, what I'm going to take there, private string uname. Next one is what there, public void set uname of string uname. This dot uname is equal to uname like this. After this, public string uname, get uname. Now inside this, return uname like this. We can take this and business method also here we can write. Sir, got it or not? Either of the things here. In any way, here we can write this content here clearly now. Clear? All of you are getting clarity on this now? Set method and get method and business methods. In this way also here we are able to use in what there? Spring framework. So in Spring framework, majorly application logic we have to provide in where there? Inside the bean classes. Got it or not? Whatever, every type, any type of application logic we can keep inside what there? Bean classes. That is another point here we have to understand. This is an example here we can identify this clearly. Next one is what, sir? After that, after completion of this next one, what next one here we have to use there? Configuration file. Spring configuration file now. Spring configuration file. Okay. Right, sir. Can I discuss this point on tomorrow? Right, sir. Now I want to discuss about it. Then and at 10 o'clock, people not required to attend today. Just give gap today because I'm not good. Tomorrow I'll continue the 10 o'clock class. Like those who are attending advanced Java class there, you'll see that class on tomorrow, right? Fine, sir. So that's all, guys. That's all for today. Then we'll see the remaining part on tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to complete that bean configuration file. It's very, very important. After that, I will go for test application. Simple 2 to 3 points only. Tomorrow max I will prepare the application. Tomorrow I'll prepare the application. Max this Saturday and Sunday we are having sessions without failure. Try to attend for the classes now. Weekends also I'm going to take somewhat extra sessions there so that we are able to complete our content a bit earlier more. Right? Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. We'll meet on tomorrow. Guys, and still some of you are not attended with yeah, I think some questions people are asking there. Then Abhishek, just we can raise the question now, then I'll give answer for you. And one more thing, guys. Sir, yesterday Java features class was not there. Why, sir? Pratik, you want to know the answer for it? Yeah, Hrithik, can I give the question now? Can I give the answer for you? Yeah, actually then I'm yes. అది ఇన్ఫెక్షన్ అండి అప్పుడు నిన్నటి నుంచి ఉంది అది చూస్తున్నది అది అందుకని తీసుకోలే క్లాస్లో yeah then yeah the point is then I'm suffering from eye inspection, guys, the last yesterday and onwards today also, but I'm thinking that these classes are important, that's why I'm taking this class. The remaining class I have not taken actually. Yeah, then yesterday also some classes are being cancelled there. Eye infection is going on, that means I'm unable to see that monitor continuously, so getting some water from the eye. That's why only important classes I'm taking there. Anyway, then we can continue the classes for Java 8 features. No, that's why then I'm taking this. But max probably today I will take the classes. That's the point here. Yeah, then some classes I have to get, but it's okay, no problem there. Okay, that's the point here. And what about toString method? Yeah, of course, toString method is always we can override if you want to display the data. Abhishek. Yeah. toString method is always toString method we can override. It's a normal concept only. Yeah, not required to provide specifically the point here. It's very, very normal thing only. toString method we are able to write. Okay. We are able to override the toString methods if you want to display the data. Okay. Yeah. Abhishek Sharma. Now tell me. Yeah, Dilip facing the same problem, no? Yeah. But yesterday onwards, I'm using some eye drops, guys. Three types of eye drops we are using there. Might be today it's somewhat better. Yesterday is somewhat different. But let me take some gap on today. Today evening, maybe classes are available, guys. Max, I will take Java 8 Features class. In the worst case, if I'm unable to manage it, no, then I will give message to you. No problem. Okay. Yeah. New database batch. Just please inquire it one time or off is there, guys, about these databases classes. No. Then or else open Durgasoft.com website there. There we can see that. And Ravi, then the problem is what there. Even I'm also be thinking the same thing, but within the time we may not complete it. Duration may take more duration. Yeah. Then Spring Framework is a lot of content is available, so we have to work for it. Then at least anyway, then a few hours of time if I take no, then it will be speed up. Remaining part of the time we can practice anyway. Okay. Yeah. Spring Framework content is content is too much, sir. Too much content is available. So we have to take for that. That's the reason why I'm planning for it. Yeah. Notes is link, guys. Now yeah, take this link. Yes, this is classroom notes. HTTPS colon slashes tinyurl.com spring 830 AM notes. Please use this. You can type it. Abhishek Sharma, then you're asking the question, but why would we want to generate hash code values according to our requirement? No, that's a problem. I explain one exact requirement there. Can you tell me what is the purpose of a hash set? Abhishek Sharma, can you tell me what's the purpose of a hash set? Hash set is for sorting. Sure. Um, Hash set is for what purpose there in general? Anyway, my question is like what there? What order it is following there? Asset is following. Duplicates are not allowed. It's okay. Asset is following what order? Is that insertion order, sorting order, or any other order? Asset is following insertion order or sorting order, any other order. So no order is available. Means that how it is provided there? Tell me. You only tell me. On the base of what values asset is able to provide the elements? No. On the base of what? On the base of what asset is providing the elements there? Hash code values. No. So on the base of hash code values, the elements are going to be stored. So where my requirement is, in general, hash code values are not known to us, right? Hash code values are not known to us, right, Abhishek? But if you want to control over these hash code values there, then what we have to do? If you want to generate hash code values as per our requirement, then what we have to do? Hash set is see, but why we want to know or control hash code values? Abhishek, what I am explaining to you up to now. In a hash set, all the elements, all the objects are storing as per the hash code values only. Up to now, we don't know what exact the hash code values. So different order we are getting in hash set. For example, if you know the hash code values of the objects, if we as per our interest, if the hash code values are generated, we can find the ordering inside the hash set or not. We are able to find the ordering inside the hash set or not. If you know hash code values, as per our requirement, if hash code values are generated, we can identify the ordering inside the hash set or not. Linked has it. For what purpose you want to use now? Tell me. Linked has it is following what their insertion order is following. Am I right now? Even I don't require insertion order. I want to have my own ordering. Then what we have to do? Then what we have to do? Hash code values here. Then what we have to do? In our own order, if you want to generate hash code values, then what we have to do? Yeah, right, Sushan. Subhash. We have to set it now. How we are going to set it? By overriding. So required to override hash code method or not? Hmm? Got answer? Then yeah, all these points I discussed inside the class, Abhishek Sharma. As it is that points I discussed there, but again I'm discussing with you. That's it, not more than that. Then Jayant Agarwal, in which order we generate the hash code values? As per that, we are able to get order, not exactly insertion, not exactly sorting. Maybe may have some ordering we followed there in the hash code. As per that, we can do. Okay, right. That's the rule of the POSO class, Jayant Agarwal. POSO, in the sense, couldn't extend or couldn't implement anything predefined library. If you extend or implement something, no, then that object is for what there for a particular purpose. But in general, that bean objects for generalized, right? That's why then we couldn't do that. That's the reason now. But serializable interface is required. Why? Because even though that bean object contains our business or non-business, but it must travel in the network. So definitely it must implement what they're serializable. Not must. As per the requirement, you can implement serializable. That is minimum. But apart from that, not extending, not implementing any predefined library in the sense that POSO class rules and regulations that we are following. Okay. Right. Jayant Agarwal, are getting my point what I'm saying to you? Yeah, definitely. Jayant Agarwal, yes, serialization and deserialization must be required. And that's why then serializable interface is required. Yeah, Sanket Deshmukh, please and send WhatsApp message to this, our pay slips and all. Then our people will send recordings of it to this number, whatever the number I've given there, whatever the transaction receipt you're having there, just try to send that to our admin people to this number, WhatsApp to this number, then our people will do that. And before that, Sanket, then haven't received any mail with the ID number. I think you are using this link. You are not joined with your ID number. Please try to join for the class. Yeah, ID number is provided there, right? There, right when first name is ID number, last name is your name. Try to join with webinar tomorrow onwards with ID numbers only. Guys, not only this, and some of you are not joined with ID numbers. Rama Devi, Ramesh Annavaram, Sanket Deshmukh, Sri Lakshmi Unnam. These people are not with ID numbers. Durgasoft has given ID numbers for everybody. So try to join with ID numbers only. At least tomorrow onwards, try to join with ID numbers only. Abhishek Sharma, I'm not getting what you're saying there. Can we see different uses and use cases of hash code now? So not required, just it is a suggestion. If you required it really, we can override it. That's the point I'm telling there. Okay. Yeah, in the respective locations, we'll go with that. If it is required, then only you can override it, but not immediately in our classes. No. Even my main concentration is not to talk much about hash code value. Abhishek Sharma, that is core Java content. Here in Spring Framework, my main content is what there, just rules and regulations I'm talking there to start first application. If it is really required as per our application requirement, then I will give that exact content there. That in general, hash code and Java Bean classes in general, we used to discuss in core Java content. Okay. But here, even this much of discussion is also somewhat related with core Java. Just my main intention of discussing this concept is what there Java Bean classes anyway we are using in Spring Framework. No, then suggestions. That means rules and regulations are suggestions. I'm giving there for it. That's why here I'm giving clarity. Yeah, you're attending Spring class in the sense you might be completed core Java. I think all the members are having awareness on these points. Thus I'm giving the rules and regulations there. Okay. Yeah, Mujifar. Then better to talk with the admin people in this number there. They will give clarity on it. So that is somewhat admin people will take care about it. Yeah, thank you. Now in the network, Jayant Agarwal, see, my main concentration is not to store the data in the database, not to store the data inside the flat file. Just we want to send the data to the network. RMI, what we understood, maybe in the network, in the networking now. Then we are transferring data through the network or not. There, where if you want to send an object over the network, there we have to serialize that object. That's the point I'm telling. Say, for example, if it's a web services class, no, it's a distributed application there, then definitely we have to transfer. Then definitely we have to transfer data uh, from one machine to another machine over the network, from local machine to remote machine. Object is not possible to transfer. That's why here we are going to serialize that at the sender side. We are going to deserialize it to receiver side. Again, if receiver wants to send again the same object in a serialized mode to the sender side, no, again they have to perform serialization at the sender receiver side, and we have to perform deserialization at the sender side. That we have to do. Okay. Abhishek, any doubts? But yeah, yeah. Yesterday at Core Java class, I asked you. Then you are joining with Core Java also like this. What I observed there, then you are attending like what there already frameworks now. Then what is the need of attending Core Java like this? I'm asking there. Okay. Still, I did not understand why we are overriding hash code. Abhishek, now tell me in which way I have to explain the topic to you. I checked it as per my level best. Now tell me in which way I have to explain that. I said to you clearly one use case I am telling there about this hash code, how to what is the need of overriding hash code there. Like this, so many requirements will come, different requirements. In that one of the requirement I have given there. Like this, so many requirements. Then one more point, it is a suggestion only moreover. If we don't override, what will happen? Then as usual, object class hash code method will be executed. It will return it will return what there one integer value, hash code value. As per that, only elements are going to be stored in the asset. See, if you override it, our own hash code method will be executed. If you don't want to override it, no, object class hash code method will be executed. That's it. Object class hash code method is providing hash code value in its own way. That will be used by the applications. Do you know that object class having some methods, right? Yeah, object class has some methods, right? Abhishek, can you tell me how many methods are available in object class? Do you know the methods of object class? Yeah, 11 methods. Where one of the method is what? Out of all 11 methods, one of the method is what? The hash code method. That will be executed by default. If we override it, our own hash code method will be executed. If we are not overriding that, object class hash code method will be executed like toString method inside the Spring class. Will there be any problem? No, no problem there. If you have any specific requirement for using our own hash code value, then only we can override. Otherwise, we will use it. No problem. We can see. I'm telling you, this is a suggestion. This creating our own hash code value is a suggestion. Overriding hash code value is a suggestion, not mandatory. Observe carefully. If you want, then you can override. Possibilities are available to override. Otherwise, not required. Directly, we can use object class. Even in our class, also max cases, we are going to use object class hash code method only. We are not going to use like what there our own hash code methods. Yeah, even it's not recognized to even it is not recognized to it's not recognizable point even. It's a side point. Just one of the point is available. That's why we are discussing about it. Okay. No, all these methods are mandatory, not mandatory. Equals method and toString methods are also already we have some default implementation in object class. Not mandatory to override them. If it is an interface and implementing that interface, mandatory to override them. But if it is a normal object class, then it is giving some method there. Then what we have to do there, that we are going to override optionally. But that will create problem. No problem there. See the point. What I am telling to you. Observe carefully the points. No. See the point here. What I am telling there. If we want to apply our own comparison mechanisms while comparing two objects, Abhishek, if we want to apply mechanisms our own comparison mechanisms while comparing two objects, then we can override equals method. Otherwise, if you are not overriding them, what will happen there? Object class equals method will be executed. Object class equals method is having what there? Comparing references. No, that will be happen. Problem will not come. If you have any specific requirement, then we can override. Possibilities are available to override. That point I'm telling to you. Okay. That's clear. No response, guys. Right. Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll meet on tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll see the remaining part. Okay. Thank you.